Good evening everyone. Welcome to Stock Market Analysis brought to you by Ray Financial. Today is Friday, March 29th, 2013. Just want to discuss the world markets with you. So in front of us we have the S&P 500 index. Now if you look closely, the S&P 500 has been really pushing itself since 2011. I mean, there has been no major fall or crash in the S&P, but what we see now is it is reaching its high of 2007, and that's where we saw the whole US market crash. This is the crash that took place in 2008, the Lehman Brothers and the credit crisis problem. So now my only thing is I would wait for the S&P to cross 1580 and close above it and then move still further, because what's happening is that stocks like Apple, Google, they are really not moving ahead. I mean, Apple, it went all the way till 600 or 700 I think, and from there the stock is now come down to 450, and it's just been trading between the range of 430 and 490, and it's not making a lot of movement to the upside, even though the index has made a lot of move to the upside. Google as a stock, yes, I feel now Google is more stronger than Apple because of its great innovation, and it's got the new Google eyewear. So I really cannot say much. Usually that's a sign where the market is started to get weak, where the indexes are still moving ahead, like the S&P is still moving ahead, but the major stocks such as Apple, Google, they are not making that much of a bull run. So this is something to look out for. I would also like to show you Apple. And keep in mind the chart that we are seeing before is all weekly. We can get a better picture in the weekly chart. Now if you see the way S&P was moving, S&P was we could see it was going in an uptrend, but if you see Apple, it's clearly moving in a downtrend, and there is major support in this area, which is the 425 and 375 area. That's where I think I would notice a lot of accumulation for Apple. Apple actually had a head and shoulders, it was quite clear, and when this neckline broke, it started to move down. Usually we have to see so much of a move on the downside, but let's see. I mean, that's why I'm saying it's 375. That's for Apple. Now I want to share the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones has actually broken. Let's get the Dow Jones. Dow Jones Industrial 30. So this is the weekly chart of Dow Jones, and if you see, we have clearly broken the highs of 2000, and I need to just change the color. Let's make it blue. So you can clearly see we have broken the high. This was the area where Dow Jones in 2008 or 2007 late started to crash down, but now, even reaching a double top, the market is really going up. I don't know how much further it could go. I'm just waiting for the S&P. If the S&P also breaks 1580 and still moves on, then I think you can expect some further movement in these markets. But I just feel everything is so overbought. We really need a correction soon. I'm not saying a really big one, but there has to be something. Anyways, this was the Dow Jones. Just keep a watch on the S&P. 1580, I don't know if it doesn't break. If it starts to fall from 1580, we can see S&P back at, I guess, 1420 or something. or 1450. So keep a watch on that. I also like to check the German German markets. That's I think DAX. Yeah, that's the DAX. Now the German market, this is the third time it's reached its lifetime high, and I can show that to you. I just hope it opens up. Okay, yeah. So if you okay, right there. So if you see, this was the time when the German markets were really high. This was in year 2000, and then again in 2007 German's high reached its high and then fell with the US markets, and right now we are again in that same area. So it is important to watch how we are going to now act on the third touch. And if you see, we are actually not, we are going there pretty slowly, and as we are entering into this same area, we are getting a little bit the trade is getting a little choppy. This is again the weekly chart. So if you see, we've had a certain fall. Now I don't know whether we will be able to break 8,000, say 8,160. If we break that, then the move probably will start moving, the market will start moving ahead. And that's what you need to even see, whether Dow Jones or S&P 500. If S&P 500 breaks 1580 and it still moves ahead, then you can expect the the DAX to move ahead, the Dow Jones to move ahead. Obviously the Hong Kong markets and Indian markets, most of the European markets will start moving in the same direction. And if we see a fall in the S&P, then I guess it's going to blend into the other world markets also. Now, very important, those guys who are trading the USD-INR, what do I have for you? So the US dollar has been going up, so the INR has to be coming down. The US dollar is been appreciating, but I like to see it more much better on the daily chart. And last time I had very clearly given out this move, that was this particular short. So the moment the price broke this area, I had gone short on the USD-INR, and I made a good amount of money. Even though my target was around 50, it did not reach, but still it came around the 51.250. Now the way I see this market, just if you can watch, it's making I'll try and change the color here. Let's keep it green. I think green will help. So this is sort of a inverse head and shoulder, and if we break this neckline, which is 55.250, we can see the dollar appreciating and the rupee depreciating. We can see a move to the upside, but however, you really need to wait for this. Unless for any reason we see a break of say 53, I would just keep it like 53.750, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, then 53.500. If you break below that, then you will see the rupee come back to 52.750. And if you go back to my previous videos, I had actually given an tutorial as to how you can trade the USD-INR currency pair. So this is for now. Just keep in mind two levels I'm giving you. Either we break this one, which is 55.250, or we break this one, which is 53.500. And if we break 55.250, you can see the I think it would come back to 57.250, but it will take its time, so be patient about that. My first target would definitely be 55 or 55.750 or 56. Just keep these two in mind. Alright, now also let's see how the US dollar index is doing. US dollar index, surprisingly, when it goes up, the market should be going in the opposite direction, but I don't know what's the reason for the markets to still be pushing on. And now I fear that we are facing resistance for the US dollar. For some reason, if the resistance is strong and we don't break to the upside, and if the US dollar starts to fall down, Okay, so if the US dollar, say, touches this area and it doesn't follow on, and the US dollar starts to come down, then you would usually see the markets go up. You will see Dow Jones going up. You will see the USD-INR coming down, because when the dollar falls, the dollar is getting weak. Alright, and when you pair it up with the USD-INR, the Indian rupee will start appreciating. So when you see this falling, make sure you short the USD-INR and not go long. Okay, right now it was a clear example, as USD-INR was going up, when the US dollar was going up, the US dollar index was going up, the USD-INR was going down. I can show that to you. Just remember this once again. When this went up, the USD-INR pair, it should have gone up. There, it went up. Well, not exactly the same move, but that's just a barometer. It will tell you what you can expect in the USD-INR pair. And if that starts to fall down, then you should see this falling down too. And now I've already demonstrated this move in my previous videos. You can have a look at it. Well, that's it for now. I don't have much to discuss, but keep in mind S&P 500 1580, if it breaks and still moves on. The US dollar is another factor. If that starts facing resistance, then obviously the markets are going to go up. Our markets will start going up, and the whole chain will start taking place in the world markets. So keep a track USD-INR. I just showed you another way to trade it, and if there's anything else you want me to help you with, the information is on your screen. Shoot me an email and I'll try my best to get back to you. I hope this helps, and you guys have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.